Let's rip it.
Hey.
What's up? Can you see us?
Yeah, I can see you. Can you see me?
Let's
Yes.
go.
What up, you handsome son of a bitch? Let's go.
We're back. We're back in the 6'5 plus club on the show, bro.
Oh yeah, that is what it is.
Am I the shortest? Am I the shortest person here?
Yeah, you are.
At 6'5", and I'm the brokest. That's crazy, bro. That's fucking crazy. Wow.
Oh,
Only here, man. Only here. Listen, chat. This is where you want to be, though. This is where you want to be. Holy fuck. Yeah. So, Luca, we've spoken enough for you. I'm sure most of the chat knows exactly who you are, where you come from, but do you want to just introduce yourself to the chat?
Yeah, I'm Luca Netz. I'm the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, and in the spirit of the Market Bubble podcast, I've been hustling and making money since an 18-year-old. So I'm
fuck yes, bro.
About all things that.
And me and you have a little bit of lore. We met actually at the Cloud House in 2017, and in 2017, I think CryptoPunks came out in 2017. So neither of us were anywhere near NFTs. It's funny because I met Zapdio around the same year too, maybe a year after that. And he was pitching me on this like crypto kicks vision. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of my living room. I was like the biggest vlogger in the world at the time. Missed out on probably, generational wealth there. But you were working. What were you doing during that time? Why would we have been in the same room during that time?
I was monetizing social influence. So my whole business was just like going to influencers who weren't making that much money and just trying to monetize their brands through e-commerce. And so my whole thing was just, you have millions of followers, you should have millions of dollars. And Banks, a lot of those guys at the time didn't have any money. And so I was kind of like the monetization solution.
You have followers, you have attention. Here's how to make money. And I think that's the one thing all three of us have in common here. And obviously there's massive overlap and like roots back into crypto for all three of us, some more than others. But I think the one thing that we all have had to offer and where a lot of our value comes from individually is that attention piece. And that is kind of proving to be more and more important every day. And we preach a lot here on the show that, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're a young guy, especially you don't have things figured out. Focus on making as much money as you possibly can. Command as much attention as you can or understand attention and leverage AI. And these are the things that we feel like are most likely going to keep their value and likely increase in value over the next 5, 10 years. Maybe speak to that a little bit. Attention, because you are an outlier. I think you and Z are definitely serious outliers, and a lot of your guys' success derives from your guys' ability to attention farm.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I just saw the bottom of this thing. It says CEO of Pudgy Penguins 6'6". You're fucking hilarious. That's way too funny. I think there's like a couple points. One, to just the Zapdio story, actually funny on that. I mean, dude, I remember seeing him doing that for the first, year. And I was like, how is this kid going to make any money? Ironically enough, he made a lot of money.
Yeah, to the chat who doesn't know about the story, Zapdio sold Artifact to Nike for 9 figures.
Yeah.
And he pitched us both very early on this product. It's insane.
And it just looked like a money loser.
Facts.
And he was the first to it. I think like it all comes down to attention. And Banks, I've always respected this about you. Like people for a long, and I've always taken this stance, which is like, if you can, people build great products, sure. But like, if you can't put eyeballs on it, like what is a great product? And I think there's been a lot of stories of that. You did mention something though, that I think would be useful for the chat, which you mentioned age. And I love speaking to the younger generation. And in this case, I think a lot of people watching are in the younger generation. But understand that like your age and being young is such a superpower. And it's such a superpower in the sense that as time goes on, you become less risk adverse. Meaning as you get older, you might find a girlfriend, you might get her pregnant, a family member might get sick. And so your tolerance to take risk is exponentially smaller. And as you are younger, right? Like my story and my claim to fame is that I tested out of school when I was 15. So when people look at my success at my age, they're like, dude, you're so successful. I'm like, yeah, but I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm 28 now. Like my whole life has been doing this. And so if you look at it from that time horizon, I think most people would be dedicating their life to making money for, 13 years would reach some relative success. And so as you kind of get older, your risk tolerance gets lower. And so when you've got a show like this and you're speaking to that younger generation, it's such a special opportunity because I think the people listening don't really understand like how important it is for them to take the information here and take risks, lose it all. I can't tell you how many times I've lost it all, right? Put it all on the line, because you can suffer the consequences of that. But when you have a kid, or if a family member is sick, or there's bills and there's rent to be paid. I mean, if you're not paying rent, you're in such an amazing situation, and not paying for food. It's like, now's the time that you can actually take risks and lose it all and keep running it back until you find something. That'd be my advice to it. And then
Amazing
obviously,
advice.
I'm of the stance to just like learn how to get eyeballs, right? No matter what.
I mean, just to piggyback that, we talk about this a lot on the show. And I don't know, I personally think it's never been a better time in human history to be like a broke young person with an internet connection and like all the time in the world.
By far.
I think that
by far. You can do anything, bro, with infinite time right now.
Build anything. It's like you're almost in a way better spot than somebody who's like tied to their rent and has to make payment, who's forced to work their 9 to 5 because they have overhead, they have families, etc. That's why what Luca's preaching about is you have nothing to lose. Like to be a person with nothing to lose in 2026 is a really good spot to be in. Go and just fucking sit on Claude all day, sit on GPT live all day, go build shit, go tinker around, go learn how to leverage AI. Watch shows like this, learn about attention, learn about markets. It's amazing. Why we felt it would be appropriate to bring you on specifically now. Obviously, you made this tweet and you're like the fucking king airdrop guy. What you did with Pudgy Penguins, we'll get into it, but you tweeted kind of in the midst of this like Ansem hysteria, Ansem mania. You tweeted something along the lines, I have it here. What Ansem is doing with his token probably reinvents how airdrops are done forever. In hindsight, it was obvious, but the idea you have an evergreen, reoccurring airdrop is actually the way to do it, and the highest EV way to distribute tokens. And obviously, there was a couple more follow-up tweets, and Z chimed in, but I've been echoing this narrative of like the Mr. Beast of finance, because I think it's very, very strong, and I think it's a really, really like, I don't know, I don't think anyone's like considering the possibility of Ansem kind of stepping into that role. And I just see it very clearly now. Like there's a very clear path toward that. And what does that look like in a market like this? I don't know. You want to talk about your airdrop, why Ansem's doing what he's doing, why you think it's the right thing to do? You guys want to just kind of go back and forth on that shit?
Well, dude, I'm going to tell you, Z, you're fucking doing something over there, man. And it's honestly nice to see. It's honestly nice to see because like, what comes with that. And I think you're doing that for the people, by the people, which I respect, right? I respect that deeply. And it seems like you're really trying to put the space on your back. And, for those of you guys who don't know, Z's had some motion for a long time. Probably one of the only few guys left that has serious motion in terms of, when you actually tweet about something. At least I can speak for myself. I listen because I've just seen you be right so many times. But I mean, this was obvious, and it kind of pains me because I'm $1.6 billion in free monies that we kind of gave out, and in hindsight, this was the better strategy. This was.
You said what's the number?
Yeah, we did. When we airdropped Pengu, was 50% of the supply, and it launched and basically held $3 billion until Liberation Day. So it was about $1.5 billion airdrop that we gave people.
Yeah, see this absolute legend. You're the fucking GOAT, and this is why people hold Pudgy Penguins in high regard, and you as a founder high regard. But bro, what? Why do more people not know about that? And this whole, I mean, Mr. Beast again has created this entire brand platform career for himself by giving away effectively $200 million, give or take, over the course of his entire, decade plus career. You guys essentially did that in a week, 1.6 billion in a week. And there aren't enough people who know about that.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah, Z, I mean, some people will fight it. They'll be like, you don't know how liquidity works. You didn't actually do that. But we were trading billions of dollars in volume a day. So like, I actually do know how that works. Like that would it'd be different if we didn't, but that was a real $1.5 billion. And it's funny you bring this up, Banks, because there is a fundamental flaw in how it's structured and executed. And I think, Z, you're fixing this. I mean, it's the first experiment. So like, I'm rooting for you. I'm supporting you. I'm a big Ansem holder because I'm just like, dude, this one working out is going to be super interesting. But logically, it should work out if you run the like logical thought process. Because if you think about it, like the market can absorb the distribution, right? I learned this with Pengu, and with what you're doing, it actually can be a freight train that you can compound exponentially longer. And like Banks, to this point, like why don't more people know? Because I think like crypto is so jaded and the culture here is so weird. In the real world, you'd walk around like the president, you walk around Los Angeles like the absolute man, Ansem. But like here, it's like you give it and then they forget about it. And then they'll like laugh at you 2 months later if you make a mistake. So it's just like a very strange culture. There's both a blessing and a curse that comes with that. But in hindsight, like, again, as somebody who's, $1.5 billion, $1.6 billion into, distributing tokens to holders, if I would have thought about it more deeply, which I thought I did, Ansem strategy is the right strategy. Like, how can how do you do it daily? How can you point people in the right direction? I mean, it's just way more EV, because the problem with the one-time event is the idea that like they come in and then they leave you, right? Almost like I want to say, it sounds pretty grotesque if I said what I wanted to say, but kind of like a used cloth, you know what I mean? Like you just like
a jerk off rag. Is that what you want to say? You can say whatever the fuck you want on this show, brother.
Yeah, something along those lines. It's like you're here today and gone tomorrow, right? But in this case, Z can carry the attention. And what I learned is there's no greater distribution of attention. Mr. Beast, and I love the whole Mr. Beast of crypto and finance. I think that's genius. I mean, Banks, these monikers, you come up with these things. It's your natural born talent, frankly. One of them, at least. But this idea that you can keep it going is so much of a better strategy, simply because of the attention. And so, like, I learned this with Pengu. People forget, but when we did that whole sprint for those last couple of weeks, I was clocking 10, 20 million views of video on X. There wasn't a post that we would make that wasn't getting millions of views.
Right.
And so it was insane. And so people thought I was crazy doing a distribution like that. So Z, who's like familiar with crypto, would know that like anybody and their mom, when I said I was distributing 50% of the coin, they were like, you're an idiot, dude. Like that thing is going down only day one. The bet that I made on the other side of it was the attention and the viewership and the hype that distribution created would outweigh the sell pressure. And it did.
As we know about attention and content and media and stuff, if I know anything over the ever-changing metas and the 15 years of experience that I have in it, consistency is everything. Longevity, consistency, every single day, maintaining that attention. And I think the slow drip method that Z's kind of almost accidentally fell into with this, it's like, I don't know, man. It should work. It should fucking work. I mean, just in real time trading money for attention and using that attention as leverage to get, more people involved in it and more eyeballs onto it. I don't know. It's brand fucking new. And I think it's in everybody's best interest. That's why, I think that's why we've seen the overwhelming positive sentiment around it, is because it's just in everybody's best interest, whether you hold the shit or not. Like if you have anything to do with crypto, it's kind of like Bitcoin going up is good.
Look, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of really big founders in crypto, and Z, you probably don't know this. I'll tell it to you live on the show. But I've got a proliferation fund. I've got allocations that I can still distribute that I always planned I would do some further distribution. Like I'm watching your success as the data point to be like, this is how I distribute more tokens in the future. Right. I know other guys, me, I've always championed this behind the scenes. Like I'm in chats with other founders being like, dude, when this thing runs to gajillions, right? Not financial advice, but if he sends this thing, this is evident that this is the way to do it. And it
changes everything, bro.
It does.
That's why
I'm super bullish on it. I mean, I think I've never had. So for me, I trade all these narratives in crypto, right? I trade on-chain coins, I trade memes, I trade L1s, and I'm able to identify like when momentum is shifting and when attention is like getting pointed in some direction. But that's just as a trader. Like I'm able to identify when these things are happening and make money on them as a trader. But all the coins I talk about, like all these like low caps and mid caps on chain, I never have the supply. Like I never have any of the supply. And I never know who has it. I never know who the anonymous people who bought it at 0 market cap, 10K market cap. And I never know like what's going to happen when I talk about it. A lot of the time when I talk about it, the people who are in super low, they're selling because like, oh, they're using this attention as a way to exit. But I'm like, why don't you flip it? I have all of the supply, and you have as 100K plus holders of people that want more of the supply. So, okay, what should I direct them to do so that they can get access to more of the supply? Well, it's like I can direct them to do essentially anything. And if I can make it net positive for crypto, like if I want them to use these protocols, I want them to help me with marketing. I want them to do IRL stuff with teaching people. I want them to do educational stuff. Like the guy Spicer, he does educational videos on X and on TikTok. If I can get people to learn more about how to trade well and how to manage their portfolio well and how to manage their risk, and that's all connected to this one coin, it's not just me doing the marketing. Now I have 100K people doing the marketing, and it's not just me directing all of this. It's like a constant, steady flow of these things. Because if I have a lot of the supply, I can drip this out as long as I want to drip this out. And it's like, especially if you highlight like a smaller portion of the people who are doing really great things and excelling, then it's also like you don't have to
give people a chance to climb the ranks.
Large percent of the supply at one time, because you can like highlight individuals or highlight groups of people. So that's how I've been thinking about it. I think it does make sense. I'm kind of doing it from first principles. I've never done it before. I'm not copying anybody's playbook. Like, there's nobody. So yeah, it's interesting.
Well, Ansem, I'll give you some alpha. You want to know one thing that you can kind of throw into this equation?
Yeah.
It's like, we'll use Bullpen as an example. And I don't mean, I don't know if Bullpen has any plans to do a token, but just use it as the example because it's easy and it's at the back of your screen.
Yep.
But like, you direct Ansem holders to use Bullpen, you airdrop them, and then in exchange, right, Bullpen then airdrops those users that came in from Ansem. And so you could do that with a new trading terminal, right? The next Photon, right?
Yep.
Hey, point people, Ansem community, go use Photon. You know, I'm going to reward the people that go and perform this action. You have a deal with Photon being like, I'm going to bring users to your platform, take care of them when it's time for you to TGE. And then you create this like reciprocal flywheel. It was actually one of my regrets because we did Pengu at such a big sprint. I had done a couple deals like this, but I hadn't realized how many deals I could have done like this, where I was like, I airdropped a ton of other people's communities. And what I didn't do is set a clear expectation that I expect another airdrop from my community by me doing this. We'd done a deal like that, but I felt like I could have done like 10 if I had more time.
I think it could be so insane to like.
I have thought about this like really, really heavily. And the reason I'm thinking about this more, I don't know if I can share how do I share my screen with just me and?
I got you.
Yeah, but I think about this a lot. So like, the reason I've been thinking about this is because right now I launched this coin on Pump Fund, right? So Pump Fund, I have a profile on Pump Fund. I have a wallet on Pump Fund. The way the Pump Fund works, anybody can launch a coin with a picture and a word, as you know. But the people who launch these coins, there's a protocol fee and then there's a creator fee. So for people who launch the coins, they get a portion of the trading volume as a fee when it launches and when it bonds. And you can direct this creator fee to somebody's wallet. So if you see my wallet right here, I've made 1.37 million in the past 2 weeks just off the creator fees from people wanting to send coins to my wallet. I want to direct the creator fees to my wallet. So there's like a flywheel going on that everybody wants my attention, wants me to talk about their coins. So they send me some portion of the supply and they direct the fees to my wallet of their coins. And I'm like, well, I have all of these rewards that I'm getting. I can direct this back to the Ansem token and I'll direct back to the holders. But it's also like, for whatever protocols want my attention or want to market towards me, instead of marketing just towards me, they can market towards these Ansem holders. And I have a large portion of the supply that can incentivize people to use their protocol. And then, as you said, like they can airdrop to Ansem holders as well. So I want that to be the like core use case. Like one of the core use cases is if I have one of the most active communities in crypto and they're using all these different protocols and everybody wants this group of people's attention and they're actively spending money on chain, doing all these things, I can use that as a lever just like so much more than if it's just me as an individual tweeting about stuff.
Someone in the chat said infinite motion glitch.
Infinite motion. We're trying, bro. We're trying.
And listen, you guys are going back and forth heavily on like this being an opportunity to really revolutionize kind of the way things work in crypto specifically. My eyes are lighting up and I'm getting all excited about like, I don't know, automating this process, building out tools, like developing this almost like ranking system, this hierarchy of people who are engaged, whether it's measuring how long people are watching these streams, how much people are engaging on Twitter, clipping, like getting some clipping engine, automated clipping engine built in this effort. And just like, I don't know, this community growth thing. obviously I'm from traditional media, and I've just seen historically, especially in streaming, like the way that these communities behave with their streamer or with whatever show they watch is typically just like a fan club, right? Like these Twitter comms are just like W stable Ronaldo, and they just run around and they follow what he's doing, and they fucking spam W's or spam L's, and they're just like an army of like viewers and watchers, and they just engage kind of with the content. Our relationship with our audience is much different because it's like there isn't a fucking 35-year-old guy at home with his coffee and his newspaper watching this who's like jumping up and down and fucking excited because FaZe Banks went live or because Ansem went live. You know, they're likely here to be informed, to learn things, to discuss, you know, topics around finance, tech, attention, etc. And I don't know, it's just like bag work, but for like attention work, you know, like just the idea of building things like that out. Tools like that are more automated, like this community growth effort, clipping effort thing. I don't know. I just feel like we have an opportunity to revolutionize the way streaming works and like attention distribution and fucking content distribution. Like I feel like, I don't know. And just like,
dude, guys, think about this. Banks Z. I mean, you guys saw this firsthand, but like, let's take what Z is doing and let's like remember celebrity coins. Remember that meta?
yes.
Like Z, imagine if the meta started as like Meteor launches at like 5 million. Just call it, because you know sometimes the early buyers can snipe too hard, but just call it that. And then the celebrity had 95% supply, and what they did is just drip it to their fans, right? So you have them $5 million out the gate, right? Call it $1 million, call it a $250,000 real float if they have 95% of the supply. But I mean, like, actually that whole disaster that transpired from that meta could actually have been mitigated if you just restructured it a little correctly.
Bro,
right?
I know.
It could have been the whole. I mean, this could be. I mean, some people might roll their eyes at it, but don't. Like, and Banks, you'll appreciate this, but I mean, this done right could be a whole new incentive layer to like everything, to fandom, to
yes,
to relationship.
Like you see it happening in closed communities and like in specific instances and kind of one-offs. Like I've seen Lacey in his Discords like do a clipping pool. Like here's, $20,000 and this is a dedicated pool. And if you clip this with all these, whatever, you can take your fair share of this 20K, whatever, views, measured, whatever. Go ahead.
It just gets so supercharged when you have a token attached to it. And I'm glad that you see like the vision that I'm saying, Luca, because like I've been trying to explain how this could make sense for so long, but everybody who tries to fucking do it scams people. And they just keep scamming people whenever they do the project. And you don't have somebody behind the scenes that actually understands token design and understands how attention works and understands crypto, understands how to do it in a way that's actually like accretive to them as a personality and to their fans as a group of people. So I'm glad you see the vision. I do think there's like really cool things that we can do. And what I really want to focus on, like the crossovers, like right now I'm huge on X, Twitter, whatever. Like I got that on lock. But what I want to do is like crossover into the IRL stuff. And so like I'm gonna hit you up at this for sure. But I really have questions on like how you've done so well in consumer, like in the real world outside of just crypto, because you crushed the marketing with Pudgy Penguins across the board. And you've done a great job of kind of like bridging that gap. Like I think you're probably the most well-known crypto brand. It's also a real world brand that has done well in stores and all these other places. So that's like one thing I'm definitely going to hit you up and bother you about all the time. But I'm curious if you have thoughts on how like you go about crossing that chasm in like consumer.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, like with Pudgy, I always saw that vision. I think like for you, Z, like how do you envision the future of the brand? But frankly, Z, if I'm gonna be honest with you, the brand is you. I mean, it's in the ticker, it's in the name. The black bull just makes you laugh when you think about it, but like it is Ansem token. So frankly, like
that's the little meme flavor, the black bull.
Yeah, exactly. It's the little meme flavor. But like, frankly, I think it's more of a conversation to Banks, because I think the conversation here is how do you blow up your personal brand and transcend your personal brand? Because I think this is a personal brand play. I mean, dude, the budgets you could have. I mean, Banks, you said something genius. But dude, replace the clipping budget with a token reward pool, and then the clippers make more money as the token goes up, which literally goes up as they clip more, right?
Exactly. That's their bag work, exactly, and it's happening automatically. Like that's fucking crazy.
Dude, this is a conversation, Z, of not how you build a brand like how we built Pudgy Penguins, This is a conversation of how you make yourself the Kanye West of finance. Like,
Yes.
like, you know,
That's
like
fire.
it's really more of that, if I'm being honest, right? And like, who do you want
Which,
to
if
be?
I'm being honest, by the way, you kind of already are, right? So it's like we're way
Hey, I'm
ahead.
doing my best, bro.
We're way ahead in that effort. It's just, I don't know, man. There's so much here. Luca, we should talk a lot more behind the scenes about this and like building out these efforts and stuff, because I just think like we're fumbling a massive bag here if we don't spend time collectively. And like everybody, there's a few of us in this market that have as much interest as we do in commanding attention, or that attention piece, that media piece. You have Thread Guy, you have us, you know, there's a few other names, but I just feel like we're not even scratching the surface, especially with something like this. It kind of just breaks, it allows us to do so many new cool things. I don't know. I could talk forever about this. It's fucking cool though. And we have an opportunity of a generational opportunity here.
I totally agree. And I think it's way cooler. I know some of the like the left brain CT will like look at this and like think it's being over indexed. I promise it's not.
I think the other way. I think if anything, it's impossible to price in anything what we're talking about.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
if we can even build or accomplish 10% of the vision, it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hyped, bro. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited for it, for sure. For sure.
Swap reward style platform. I mean, Z, let's cook. You can call me whenever. But both of you guys, like, look, I'm personally like wanting to see this shake, because I think if it shakes the way that I think it can, one, Z, I'm gonna follow. Like, there's things at least on how you're distributing the token that I will follow suit on, and just like what it can do for, I think, just the greater creator economy, media economy. Like, I'm in the entertainment business at the end of the day. Like, Pudgy Penguins is an entertainment IP, right? Like, I think this reinvents a lot more than I think most people give it credit for. So, you know, anything you need from me, just know I'm rooting for you.
Appreciate you, bro. That
Really
means
go,
a lot.
Luca.
That means a lot. Appreciate you.
I asked Z this, I think not last episode, but the episode before. And honestly, like, I feel like this is part of the Ansem lore, because he kind of just went off and did it right after I asked him this question. But gun to your, he knows what I'm gonna ask. He knows what I'm gonna ask. Gun to your head. Alon hands you the keys to Pump Fund. You're the CEO of Pump Fund. You own Pump Fund. What are you doing with it?
Dude, I've been saying this for forever. And like, I don't know if he thinks that I think I'm talking smack, but I'm totally not, because like, I think the advice is so obvious. Send that token as low as possible, airdrop as much as possible, and the buybacks will actually mean something. And then when they mean something, you can control the whole float, and then Pump will just go up vertically, because it's one of the most viral apps in all of crypto. I mean, it's like such a simple strategy. Like, it's a people's platform. Give it to the people, airdrop a boatload. They will nuke it for a week. Maybe they won't even. It might even just send, right? But if it does, great, buy more, you know, and then he'll own 90% of the token, and then it'll just go up in infinity, and everyone will love him. I mean, I don't know why they haven't done that. But like, I keep, everyone asks me about it, and I keep answering it. Like, that's, and I don't mean to, because like, he obviously is super successful. Like, I have no business to tell him what to do, but I'm just saying, like, I'm sure he wants another.
It's just a fun thought experiment. And it's interesting that everybody kind of has the exact same answer, but it's the exact opposite of what they're doing. It's just interesting.
I don't know why they don't do it. Z, you want to know, what do you think?
Yeah,
Why
I
do you
mean,
think-
I think that makes sense. Banks asked me this question a few weeks ago. I think like some of the they changed some of the things with like the different launch options. People were mad at the launch options that they had because it was like causing too much PvP and vamping with stuff. So they changed some of that. The airdrop is by far the biggest thing. I mean, I think like if the business continues to make money as it's making, the revenues start going up and to the right and the tokens going down, then as you said, I mean, at some point it's gonna just make sense.
All the money would go back in the fees. It would go right back to them. You know,
I think it's trading pretty low. I think they're making like close to $1 million a day or whatever it is. Like even just on a ratio of like how much they're buying back to the circulating float of the token, it's getting pretty close to like, okay, like they're gonna own a lot of this thing pretty soon. So yeah, I agree with you for sure.
But everyone thinks, with the exception of Hyperliquid, like everyone tries to index Hyperliquid as the barometer, but like you don't understand that like crypto is such a sentiment product. Like it, like you even saw it with Maker, and like there's a lot of tokens out there that are doing like insane buybacks that if you do like the PD ratio, you're like, this is a great deal. But like it's such a proxy of attention and eyeballs that it actually is, and sentiment, that like it actually doesn't matter. Like, you know, I had this conversation with my community. Z will appreciate this. They were like, when are you buying back the token? I said, what would you rather me do? Spend $10 million buying back the token or $10 million on marketing?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's one very easy answer for that. What do you really want as a token holder? You want price going up? Okay, so what do you want? One of the best marketers in the space to go spend it buying back. You buy back the token when you almost have nothing left to do, unless you're hyper liquid and it's programmatic and you did a huge airdrop and sentiment, and then all your traders and your warriors are championing you. That's a different outcome, right? But if you're not in that bucket, then you spend the money on marketing, right? So I don't know. I think for them, they would just make so much more money, and their token would go up vertically, like completely like the Eiffel Tower if they airdrop people. I don't know why.
I agree. I agree 100%. I'm banging the table on it. I agree.
Well,
and
if you guys both agree, I agree.
I think it's interesting. I've kind of been thinking through my thought process on this, but like assets in this digital age now, they have tangible value and they have intangible value. So like these businesses, stocks represent some ownership of this business that's making money, and it represents a fraction of their future cash flows, right? So that's like the tangible value of a business. So all these stocks, right? And they trade on like how they are competing with other people in the market, what their plans are for the future, what their net income is, all these different things. But then you have the intangible value. And I think people don't talk about a lot what this intangible value actually contributes to like the market cap of these assets and stocks and crypto, whatever else it is. But it actually is a lot. Like it contributes a lot. The attention piece, the storytelling, the narrative, all of that. And I think we saw it pretty.
Well, that Ash Robin video, it's literally everything.
Yeah, I think we saw it pretty clearly with like stuff like SpaceX. So SpaceX obviously is a multi-trillion-dollar IPO, a multi-trillion-dollar company. Their net income is negative. Like the reason that it's able to trade at a multi-trillion-dollar valuation is because people believe so much in Elon as an operator and what his story is for what the company's going to accomplish in the future. They don't care that they're not making money right now, but he has all of the attention in the world, and he has all of this collective belief in people that know he's going to execute on these things and do well down the line. And I think that's something that you will never see in a book like The Intelligent Investor. Like you're never going to see like what is the value of attention for this asset. And that's why like memes, even though people say they're worth nothing, the reason that they're able to go to such high market caps is because attention is worth something. And like, even if the meme is not a business that's making money, that attention that retail is directing are actual real dollars of people are speculating on these things. And the more viral that they go, the more money that people are speculating on them. And that's why Doge was able to go to fucking 80 billion in 2021. So I think there's like tangible value, intangible value, and a ton of other things that contribute to asset prices. And it only contributes more with how social everything is, because whenever you have a thesis on a stock or thesis on crypto, it gets shared across the board extremely quickly. And then it's like, for somebody who like SanDisk, for example, there's fundamental reasons why the stock is doing really well. But then it's a momentum trade also. And then people who don't know exactly why SanDisk as a business is doing really well are also buying SanDisk because it's the most popular stock. It's momentum. It's across the board. Like it's everybody's talking about it. And I think that happens really, really, really aggressively now because of how social media works and because of how internet native a lot of traders are. So I think that's something that's kind of discounted and not talked about a lot.
I mean, you see it all the time. I actually made an analysis. You'd appreciate this. Back in 2020, when I was trading stocks, like just to the spirit of attention, I did like an analysis on companies that had publicly traded founders or that had public facing founders versus publicly traded companies that did not have public facing founders. The discrepancy on the premium that they get on their market cap is like night and day. And like, what is a founder's job in a publicly traded company? It's really like yielding attention, right? And garnering attention and creating trust and that dynamic. And so like, no matter how many ways you skin the cat, like, especially in a world where everything is going to get commoditized, I mean, the machines are coming, right? And so like, what is going to yield that value? It's that emotional connection, it's trust, it's credibility, and ultimately it's attention. Right? Like how much eyeballs can you garner in one person's direction or in one certain direction? And that's what I think runs the world, and increasingly so, I think, over the next couple of decades.
Yeah. And it's funny because the attention piece actually front runs a lot of the real tangible value sometimes. Like Solana in 2023, if you're evaluating Solana on how much on-chain activity was happening on Sol, it's a 0. It's a literal 0 if you're evaluating it purely on that. But if you're looking at stuff that other people aren't talking about under the hood, you're looking at the infra of the chain, you're looking at what could possibly happen if activity comes back, you're looking at what happens if the crypto market starts doing well, then you're like making a bet that it's just not, it's not evident in the actual stats. Like I think attention and momentum usually front runs the easy trades for people to make. It's like, oh, now Solana's making whatever X million dollars a day because everybody's trading. Now it's a much easier trade for people to take. But like being able to see things, like see around the corners, those are the best traders and those are the best investors in my opinion.
Luca, self-described one of the best marketers in crypto. I tend to agree. Let's do another hypothetical little thought experiment. You're the CMO of Solana. What are you doing with that? What are you doing with those keys? Z, you can answer after also.
CMO of Solana is a tough spot, bro. That's like so much.
Bro, I think I would love that role. I would love to do that. I feel like I would crush that.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
I know what those guys are doing, and frankly, I don't think I would do much differently. I mean, they're telling the story to be told on a chain is going to be the story around real world assets, TradFi, stocks, revenue, speed. I mean, frankly, I think the Solana team is one of the best in the space, at least from a chain perspective. I mean, I don't know chains that is better. So, I mean, look, I viscerally, I could, if I thought about it, I could probably tell you something different, but I think those guys have an idea as to what they're doing over there. I mean, more than an idea, frankly. I couldn't tell you. It doesn't stand out to me as clearly as.
So if they gave you the keys, you're giving them back. You're giving them back. Is your
so you're keeping them. You're doing great. Keep crushing it. Keep crushing it.
It's a good answer.
Z, what are you doing? You giving them back?
Man, I like what they're doing. I think I do like what they're doing. I've liked the like recent marketing stunts that they did around certain products, like the perps thing, the perps on Twitter. I thought that was pretty cool. Like one of the products they're supporting in that way, like the World XYZ thing. I thought that was pretty cool. The WizOp partnership, I thought that was really cool too. Like it seems like they're aware that like crypto is, they want to do marketing outside of just the pure crypto channel. So I think the WizOp thing is cool, like tapping into that market. And it seems like they're willing to kind of go outside of the box with the marketing. My favorite thing on Solana is like when the founders all align on some slogan or something, like what is it? Improve bandwidth.
Someone said, what the fuck is WizOp?
World Series of Poker, WizOp. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to call it, to be honest.
WSOP. I think they just call it WSOP.
WizOp. I call it WizOp. I don't know. WSOP. Yeah, the World Series of Poker.
Which I think. By the way, I think we're both competing in that. I don't know if
funny.
I don't know if I just leaked that or not, but I think we're gonna do that. I think first week of August we might do like a live show also, because I think the event is Sunday to Wednesday. Solana's doing some like poker tournament. They invited us both to play. Luca, you should fucking play too.
Bro, you should. You should pull up, bro. You should. They were asking if there's any
Vegas
like,
with the boys. I think it's the Bellagio.
Interested in playing.
I'd love to play the World Series.
And Solana, give us some fucking set up a little impromptu production. Give us a little set and let us do a live show. I'll play I'll play Phil Ivey heads up live.
Get crushed, bro. Make sure you limit the buy-in on that.
Facts.
But no, yeah, I think Solana does good with marketing. To be honest, I think they were in a really tough spot in 2021, 2020, yeah, 2022, yeah, 2022, 2023. They were in a really tough spot, and like I was active in a lot of like the Solana hackathon. Going to the Solana hackathon, like I went to Breakpoint in 2022, so I was pretty active in all the channels. And I was telling them like you just have to sell the thesis that you're the best chain, the fastest and the best chain to be built on. And I remember what they said. That cycle was like only possible on Solana. That was my favorite slogan that came out of that cycle, because it really was true. It was the only blockchain that you could do a lot of these things on. You couldn't do it on ETH. You couldn't do it on a lot of the L2s. It was only possible on Solana. So I like Solana's market. I don't think I would do much differently, to be honest. I think they've done well. I think what they do need to really, really focus on is like you're gonna need applications outside of the core trading to do well. I think for them to scale, like for the thesis for blockchains to be like comparable to Apple's App Store, you obviously need apps that are successful in all these different market sectors. And they've done a great job, I think, of elevating and supporting Collector Crypt, which is the TCG thing. But yeah, I think other areas like AI and agents and like consumer, like all these things are going to have to support pretty closely, pretty heavily. So I'll be focusing on those for sure.
For sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Luca, to bring it back, dial it back, we probably should have opened with this, but you obviously broke out during like NFT mania. I forget what year exactly it was, but you purchased Pudgy Penguins for, I think it was what was it? 750 ETH. It was an ETH transaction.
$2.5 million at the time.
$2.5 million at the time. And Pudgy Penguins was just an NFT project at this time. It was a 10K PFP NFT project.
Yep.
2 questions. One, why? Why did you do that during that time? You want to just walk us through that? Because it was a generational fucking trade. I mean, it was incredible what you did. No one's really done anything like that since. I don't know. It was a fucking insane move. You know, you were seeing on the timeline every day, like somebody buys like some crazy fucking like zombie crypto punk and that goes crazy viral, or somebody buys like, a one of one Bored Ape that goes crazy. You came out the cut and bought a whole fucking project.
Yeah, that was crazy, by the way.
Dude, so
crazy.
Epic. So
crazy.
epic. So epic. And there are people who made 7-figure NFT investments that went completely bust, belly up, went to fucking zero. Logan Paul historically with the what was it? The something force. Yeah, all in one force.
Oni Force?
Yeah,
those were hard. I love those, bro.
Dude,
those
I love those too.
Hard.
I have a crazy one.
Fuck.
I still have a fucking crazy one. I still have a 7-figure.
I have a crazy one too. I don't have a 7-figure one. I have a crazy one.
I have a no, it's not a 7-figure. I have a 7-figure NFT port still. I hold a bunch of punks. I have a zombie punk. So yeah, two-prong question. Why did you do that? And also NFTs, like how often are you asked about this? Do you ever think there's going to be a place in crypto for like any sort of NFT meta? How do you think NFTs reemerge in projects like, the standouts, the fucking crypto punks, what they used to call them blue chip, punks, apes, Pudgy Penguins. What do you think the future looks like for NFTs? And I have to take a piss, so I'm going to give you the whole screen.
Oh, look at me. I think when we first purchased it, the idea was that we could do something that I felt like a lot of people were selling but weren't actually doing. And then viscerally, I was my company before this was a company called Gel Blaster, which was North America's biggest or fastest growing toy company at the time. And so I learned a lot about just brand and IP and that whole spiel. And it was just very clear to me that Pudgy Penguins could be just as big, if not bigger, than I think all of the IPs that I had learned to know and love over the year and a half that I was doing that. And I just thought that we could do something for the space that I think very few people could do or were positioned to do. Like when I look at Pudgy Penguins, I think about bringing the family, into Web3, bringing women into Web3, things like that. Where do I think the NFT space is today? Look, I think the thesis is super simple. The collectible market is a $500 billion market in terms of market cap. And so what I mean by that is if you take all the collectibles in the world and you put a market cap on it, it's give or take, I think about $500 billion. If you look at the NFT market cap within that collectible market cap, it's just about 1%, give or take. A little bit less.
Yep.
Digital collectibles have a slew of pros that physical collectibles do not. There's no inauthenticity issues. There's no spoofing issues. There's no friction when buying or selling, right? And though they are not physical and you can't touch them and they are not necessarily physically tangible, they are digitally authentic. And in a world where the entire world is going into the digital universe, you got to ask yourself, if the collectible market cap is that big, do digital collectibles warrant a 1% capture of that market with clear pros that physical collectibles do not have? And the answer is unequivocally yes. Now, whether you think that market discrepancy should be 90-10, 80-20, 50-50, I'll let everybody listening to make their own assessment on what they think that spread should be. But there's a spread. and there's room to capture. And I would say that room's in the tens of billions of dollars. And that's where I think the trade and the opportunity in NFTs is. I think you saw, sports cards and Pokemon cards have a bubble in 2020. For those who don't remember, the exact thing that's happening now happened then. And I see no reason to believe why NFTs won't have a similar moment that they had in 2021, similar to the pattern that I think you're seeing with TCGs and other collectibles throughout the years. And so, long story short, I think there's a huge opportunity for digital collectibles to capture a ton of market value as the collectible market grows. And I ultimately believe that it's a matter of if not when. And for those who are doing it, I mean, Banks, you done it, Z, you did it. Like, there was very few things more fun than buying.
It was the best, bro. It was the best. It was the
Fun as fuck.
Imagine me, like, this is my introduction to crypto, by the way. It's fucking peak WAGME. We're all going to make it culture. Every community, by the way, so many projects, founders got me for a fucking hit the craziest lick on me, because I would go in and I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I directed a lot of liquidity into projects just based on me talking about them or buying them. Like, it was fucking crazy. Like, I would buy products and they would instantly sell out because of that. And I would be put in a position where I really could never sell them, but it was okay. And my trade-off was I go in their Discord and it's all fucking, holy fuck, Banks, we love you. And they're making honorary fucking PFPs for me. And they're welcoming me with open arms. And I'm just like, holy fuck, this is awesome. And, I'm buying punks early and minting apes and shit like that. And I was buying cyberkongs, early. So I made a good bit of money on trading NFTs too, like the earlier stuff. Like, my entire punk holdings is like free rolled, basically. Just buying them early. I own fucking, 4 or 5 punks, and one of them's a zombie. It's a 7-figure bag. And yeah, that's all. I cleared my initial cost on that in like one trade at like absolute peak, like CryptoPunk mania. I sold like one that I bought like 2 weeks prior for $500,000. Fucking insane, but it was fucking sick. Also, the meta was super easy. It was mint in print. It was so fucking easy.
That is true, bro.
It was even easier if you were willing to, like, I was in every, and Z, also you too. Luca, you could have went the easy route, by the way, and instead of spending, this is why you're the fucking GOAT, by the way. Instead of spending $2.5 million to buy an existing project and have to, move uphill, like you're swimming upstream at that point. It's a huge, feat to undertake. You could have just released a project, a 10K project. I know I could have. I could, I had fucking, $4 or $5 million sitting on the table for me at any fucking time that I wanted. I never did it. I never dropped a PFP project. I never dropped an NFT project because I just fucking, it wasn't my role. That isn't what I was going to do. And it's like, I don't know. It's fucking crazy, bro. So many people made so much money and it was just good vibes. And I think that I think it's valid, bro. I think like GTA, Metaverse, like Oasis, like, what is a CryptoPunk worth in this world and in this environment with all the history, with all the lore, like it's fucking, they're Picassos, right? Like, they're digital Picassos. I think so, clearly. But I'm also fucking 40 years old and talk about Kai Cenat on Twitch. So who knows? What the fuck do I know?
I didn't know that the discrepancy between the collectibles market and like the NFT market was that big. You said collectibles market is 500 billion and the NFT is like 1% of that. I mean, that's like a clear discrepancy in my opinion. That's crazy.
I almost Googled it. What's the total market cap for Rolex watches? What is the total number of Rolex watches worth on planet Earth today? I wonder. That's something we could ask Rolex? GPT live when it's just like Rolex versus punks, for example. Like, what is every punk on planet Earth worth today versus what every Rolex, which is just one watch manufacturer? I don't know.
Oh, can't find that easily.
Shout out.
Somebody said 80 to 100
50 billion. 50 billion, it says.
50 billion. Yeah, I mean, and that's higher than the entire, that's 10 times bigger than digital collectibles.
30 NFTs. NFTs, I think, are at 2 billion right now.
Okay, so yeah. So 30 times. Just Rolex.
In a world where you can flex, if everyone's on the internet, and the biggest flex is wearing
way more, by the way, fucking more. I remember the big thing with CSGO skins was people would stack, factory new Dragon Lores. Why do you need 80 factory new Dragon Lores in your fucking inventory? You can only ever use one.
Yeah.
Because they sit in your inventory and the motherfuckers go and view your profile and you just get all this crazy social clout because you're a fucking, who the fuck is this guy? you know, with a $10 million CSGO inventory and their profile views. You know, this is being viewed and signaled out to this community 100,000 times a day, probably 1 million times a day. You know, how many people are going to see me? I mean, I'm live, but if I wasn't live, how many people are going to notice that I'm rocking this paddock, this Aquanaut? It's fucking 20 people in my day to day, maybe. I don't know. It's crazy.
I have a question for you, Luke. I think like crypto and trading and finance in general is like heavily male centric and like male centered. But you made a comment earlier that like part of the Pudgy thesis was like a brand also related to women, like women could relate to. And I was thinking about it. I don't think there's really been that many, I guess, like markets that women are like speculating on and gambling on. Like women spend way more than men on consumer, like designer, all these different areas. Like they spend way more than men do. But there's not really been any product or protocol that I can think of off the top of my head that kind of capitalizes on their willingness to spend in like a speculative kind of way. So I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that, or like what something like that could look like.
I've thought about it. I mean, I think there's somebody building a prediction market for like women's like gossip and like women topics.
Yeah, something like that.
They've been building it for a while. I'm waiting to see that shipped, and I'm like super stoked about it.
I saw one of these prediction markets do a Love Island market. That's fucking genius.
Yeah, but you got to do it like pink Y2K with the glitter and like really get these girls involved on like a mobile app. I think that's like a huge opportunity.
With a chat where people can talk shit to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's actually a great like multi-billion-dollar product to be made.
I think so, right?
I agree.
Market, you know, with all the topics of like all the shows and all the drama, you know, Daily Mail it all up. But that's one.
Somebody said you don't need an NFT to do the dishes. That's crazy.
No,
that kid's crazy.
We respect.
That's crazy.
We respect women on this show. We do.
We definitely do. But I think there is a huge opportunity there. And furthermore, and I've seen this with Pudgy, because we arguably have one of the biggest women communities in crypto, if not the biggest. I wouldn't say maybe the biggest, but like top 2 or 3. I don't think there's more women in a community within crypto than Pudgy. But what I found, I didn't even realize this, but somebody came up to me and they were like, you know, I just bought 10 Pudgy Penguins. And I said, that's crazy. Like, what made you do that? He said, you got all the girls in your community, bro. And so where the women are, the men come, right? And so it's dual faceted, right? So it's just like, you know, and one side of the spectrum is like, yeah, crypto is a crypto bro culture, but you know, you can go be in your little, you know, community with, you know, a bunch of dudes. Like,
I was just talking to one of our producers about Barachain, and they refer to Barachain as being like a team that marketed themselves very well. Yeah, the Bear Baddies just popped into my head. That's funny. That's
Smokey did great with that whole setup. But no, dude, I think there's a huge opportunity. And to Z's point, like women want to speculate too. They want to have fun too. Z can attest to this. Z, what's the video I sent you a week ago?
Bro, Luca's texted me a few days ago, like a week ago. He's chilling on the beach with this girl.
My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend. And she's like asking him how to buy Ansem. He showed her how to buy Ansem. She's like on her Phantom, like, yo, is this the coin? He looks it up, buys it. She's complete. And it's like, yeah, she showed literally live. It was fire. It was legendary.
And every day she checks it, Z.
Right? Let's go. Let's go.
She called herself a trader. Right?
We're going to make her some money.
Yeah, no, I told her we're up 3x. We're keep making money.
Let's go. Let's go.
Good for her. That's awesome.
That's fucking fire.
We got 7 minutes left. What do you boys want to talk about? This has been awesome, by the way, Luca. You're the GOAT.
Yeah, dude, how Ansem put belt to ass on the basketball court. I'm not gonna lie. There's 2 people on this podcast right now that put belt to my ass on the basketball court. And I swear, Z, Banks' first ever dribble pull up was literally in my face. And his boy Zach literally
making him eat it. Me and Zach Bia, shout out Zach Bia, making him eat it. Bro, you did not know I could hoop like that. You did not know I had a fucking strap like that.
Bro, Luca was talking mad shit to us.
Facts,
bro. Like, yo, talking mad shit. Like, yo, my boys in Miami are in town. Like, we're gonna scrape you guys. Like, let's do it anywhere, anytime. Like, all right, bro.
Luca, by the way, I will cherish that forever. That was so fun. That was awesome.
That was fun as fuck. It was fun.
Came through LA, joined a runs.
I'm gonna come to Miami. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it in Miami.
We need to do some sort of event.
Huh?
We need to do a whole basketball game. Z,
we should.
How about we just like shot around. We haven't like hooped for real.
Yeah, Z stayed with me like a year and a half ago in LA, and we had me, Thread, Frank, Malcolm, whatever. We all lived together in this place. We had this big fucking full court like backyard setup. Did you ever come to that house, Luca?
Yeah, I completely handed Thread guy's ass on that court, dude. Completely embarrassed.
Did you?
Let's go,
dude. TG's insane. TG's honestly really fucking good.
He's super good,
he's
and
a
I
real
know
good
he's
hooper.
super good. But ask him what I did to him that night.
I love it. I love it.
Because you want to know what it is? I don't play fives. I can play 3s and 2s or 4s on a half.
Yeah.
Because when it's 5s, I have to play center. And I don't know how to play center. Right, so my whole game is screwed up. I'm like a lost puppy there.
And
right?
honestly, to be fair, if you're in runs who have their cardio dialed, and we're doing, at this time too, we haven't done runs in a minute, but if you're doing runs, 2-3 times a week, you're doing full court runs, your cardio is fucking dialed. And if you're just jumping into that kind of like off the couch or like off the plane in your case, you're fucked.
Stuff.
Yeah, it was fucked.
It was so good though. We have to do an event. That'd be fucking sick.
I feel like we should do more like cool crypto events. We have the fucking crypto conference.
Actual cool ones, because crypto event.
Cool crypto event.
Even just hearing you say crypto event makes you want to like stay at home. You know what I mean? So like actual cool events, and maybe even just drop the word crypto in general. We just call it a cool event, cool finance.
Banks, you asked me a question. If I was Solana CMO, what would I do? I'd tell you exactly what I would do. I'd take $250,000 in Solana, and I'd bring everybody together and be like, basketball game, basketball tournament. Top team makes $250,000. Solana sponsored, logos everywhere.
Epic, bro.
Epic.
We need to do that. We need to do that. ROI on that.
Where's Bibu? Where you at, bro? You hearing this? Let's make this happen right now.
Is that the CMO of Solana?
$250,000 Solana basketball tournament. We need to make that happen. I feel like we can manifest that. We can make that happen.
Bro, we'll do it on a Thursday and that'll be a free show. We'll just go live. We'll just go live and we'll live stream. We'll just live stream the event.
Yo, and we get Polymarket to do the fucking markets on it.
Yes.
That'd be lit.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy one.
Yes, that'd be super good.
Okay,
awesome.
we're cooking on something now. We're cooking.
W idea. There's not enough of that in crypto though. I've been saying it since I joined. Media, even this show, I think we're just scratching the surface. Luca, you've done it the right way. I think that we're doing it the right way. And I don't know, there's so much upside in it. The bar is set so low in this market, in this space for, brand building, attention, etc. And I think if there's anybody who's going to do it, it's guys like us. So Luca, thank you so much for coming on. I hope this is first of many with you. Would love to talk with you after the show about just like getting you guys more involved in what we're building over here. Cause I think there's a ton of aligned interest, and you're just the fucking GOAT, bro. You're just a GOAT. I think, yeah.
I appreciate you boys. Let's text Banks. Text me on the side. Happy to work with you on the show. Z, here to help you with Ansem in any way. And totally agreed. Solana, Poly Market. We need to get a basketball tourney going.
Bunch of W Lucas in the chat. They love you so much, bro.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Goats. You're the best.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
later.
Brother.
Peace.
Chat showing love. We love to fucking see it.